Hello my friends, my name is Lindsey and I run the blog Books for Christian Girls, and welcome to or welcome back to the little corner of the internet where I talk mainly about Christian fiction. Today I have a summer recommendations video for y'all, and I was concerned that a lot of people thought August was the start of fall, but I did a poll over on my Instagram account and then also here on my community page here on YouTube, and a lot of y'all said that no, August is still summer in your eyes. So I'm taking that as it's not too late to share a summer recommendations video, and I have a bunch. So we're just gonna dive on in. Back in like June, I think I asked y'all, what did y'all think of when you thought of summer books, summer reading? What did you think of? Because I particularly always think of contemporary books, particularly contemporary YA, and I don't really know why that is, but they just feel like summer to me. So I have a good stack of those on this list, but I also have some middle grade. I have a couple historical. I have bingeable series, I've got some fairy tale books. Like, we have a good mix of just everything in this video. I have clean fiction and Christian fiction, and let's just get started, okay? We're gonna start with the genre that is the most summerish to me, and that's contemporary YA. So let's grab some books. I haven't really done a video like this since the new bookshelf, so I have to refigure where everything is. Okay, my first series is going to be a really obvious one, but that's going to be First Date. And starring me is blue, as I trip over things. Starring me, and then Right Where I Belong is also blue, all by Krista McGee. This is a fantastic Christian contemporary YA trilogy that is just so summery and perfect. They might not all be set in the summer, but I feel like they are. This one's right here at like the beginning of the school season, so it counts, it counts. Then we have the Christy Miller series by Robin Jones Gunn. This is the epitome of summer nostalgia in my opinion, but also just summer vibes. She goes to California, and one of the books she goes to Hawaii. This is classic contemporary YA, like in the Christian sense, but it's also just really good. I am hoping to start rereading these at some point. I need to. I'm so behind on this series, but the main series I highly recommend. Next, we have the Tradewinds series, which y'all have heard me talk about over the years. I'm just going to grab the first book, if I can find it. I know it's in this color, isn't it? Yes, here it is. Porch Swing Girl by Taylor Bennett. This whole series is just really fun, summery, set in Hawaii. It's cute. The main girl, Olive, might be a little annoying to you in this first book, but her character development and as the books continue is worth it, in my opinion. That is 5 books, I think, or it's 4, and I think it's 4 in a novella. There's a Christmas novella, but it's set in Hawaii, so it still doesn't really feel like, you know, skiing, snow, that kind of thing. Another classic contemporary YA I just always have to mention when given the option is Roadside Assistance by Amy Clipston. This whole trilogy, book 2 and 3, I have them. We won't hunt for them. But this whole trilogy, very summery. I haven't actually read this in a few years, but I recall it being very summery vibes, and I just really, this has a very special place in my heart. What else can I tell you about it? Nothing. I need to read it. You know, I might reread this trilogy next year. I doubt I'll get to it this year, but maybe in 2025 I'm going to reread this series because they were icons in my time. Let's also pull The Summer of Cotton Candy by Debbie Viguie. This is the old cover. I have the new cover because I have the rest of the books in this edition. And the main girl, what was her name? Oh, of course, Candace. And she gets a job at an amusement park for the summer, and she has to do the cotton candy thing. And you would be like, oh, okay. But it was cute. It was very humorous, very fun. If you really like Jenny B. Jones, I'm not the biggest fan of that author, but if you really like her style, you probably will really enjoy this series. There are 4 official books, and then the author wrote another book, and it covers a year. Each season is a book, and it was really cute. Really, this is such a fun series though. Like, it's very humorous. So those are my kind of classic recommendations, if you will, but I do have 2 new ones to add to this contemporary YA genre, if you will. And the first one's going to be Hey Jude, Carpenter by Shultz. Did you see this one coming? This was one I read more towards the beginning of this year, but this was just so peak summer nostalgic vibes. Like, it has the small town setting and just like riding their bikes. The teens are about 14. There's a little sweet romance throughout the book, but they start off as friends first, and it was just really fun. And then there's, like, you know, challenges and the small town and drama, because what would be a small town without drama? And then just different things. It was really cute. Really, really cute. Another newer one I read this year that I would recommend would be Hope at the Ocean's Edge by Chantal J. MacDonald. If you really like the Christy Miller series, I feel like you may enjoy this book as well, because it is about a girl named Sadie, and life has not been the best, and she is questioning a lot of things and doesn't believe in God, and there's just a lot of different things happening. And then she finds out a shocking secret about her family's history and goes off to London for an adventure to meet someone involved in that. And then there's a kind of a romance, but it's very slow burn, and it doesn't go how you think it will. I don't know. It was different, very summery, set in Canada mostly, and then set in the UK for part of it. And it was different. You know, I liked it though. I liked the lessons. I'm looking forward to continuing with the rest of the series, but so far I would potentially recommend this first one. So, okay, that is the contemporary YA stack. I love this stack. Look just how pretty it is. The blues, the pinks, the slightly greens. Right here. This is great. This is great. So, that is this stack of books. And now for the other stack of books. I gotta go hot. I don't think I can get that book, actually. I didn't bring a ladder in here before filming. I didn't think that through. Okay. I have two middle grade. One's a series, one's a standalone, but for the series, I'm going to say the Camp Club Girls series, because the first book is set at a summer camp, and it has mysteries, and it's just a cute series, okay? I have the whole series, but I didn't bring a ladder to get to them, so they are at the very, very top of my shelf, so I can't get to them, but here's the cover of book one. Very cute. Hard series to find now, but they have reprinted them in different editions, so this first book is actually available in this collection and this collection. So if you can find those two collections, you can have the first book. But it was just really cute. You know, it's middle grade, there's lessons, there's some mystery that's not super suspenseful, but it's really cute. Another middle grade one I would recommend that I just read this year was Road Trip Rescue by Becca, I need to message the author and ask her how to pronounce her last name. But this is about a girl whose dog went missing a couple of years prior to the book starting, and then one day she's flipping through a magazine and sees her dog in a magazine. And she's just like, what in the world? And I think it was a couple states away, something like pretty far away, and so her parents won't take her on a road trip to find out because they have a farm and they have to keep going, of course. So she convinces her vibrant, I guess would maybe be the word, aunt, who is a unique soul, let's just put it that way, to go on a road trip with her and try to find out what happened to her dog. Honestly, I don't know if I would have liked this book as a middle grade reader. I don't know if I would have, because like it's not a sad ending, but it's not the happiest ending it could have been, but it's a pretty realistic ending. The second book in the series will actually be coming out in the fall, September. I think it's next month it's coming out, so I'm going to read that one, but this was a very fun little summer romp of a read. For contemporary, I have a couple books, but I have to find them. For contemporary, we have The Divine Proverb of Streusel by Sarah Brunsfield. If you don't want romance, this is probably going to be, this and the middle grade ones are kind of really going to be your only options on this list. I'm so sorry. Most books in Christian fiction have romance, and that's kind of what sells me into a book, is the cute romance sometimes. So, sorry about that. But this one is about a girl named Nikki, and she has kind of just had her life completely disrupted with her parents suddenly getting a divorce and then her dad's getting remarried, and so she decides to go off and try to find out about her family history, and that leads her to finding, I think it was her grandmother or great-grandmother's journal, and it has recipes, so there's recipes throughout the book, which I thought was interesting, and just kind of discovering who she is and learning about God and many different things. It's interesting though, because we have her point of view and then we have her uncle's point of view, who she is staying with, and it was different. It was just a very sweet read, but kind of heart-hitting at times as well. Another contemporary book I'd like to recommend that I don't have a physical copy of would be Whitewater Wishes. This title, I love it, but it gets me. Whitewater Wishes by Catherine Robles, maybe is how you pronounce the author's last name. This is the first book, and it looks like to be a standalone trilogy. This was just a really sweet, kind of short. It was about 200 pages, a little under, story about a girl who does whitewater rafting, like she's a guide, and then the main guy is a nurse at a hospital, and he's never really been a big water person, childhood things to do with that, and he has decided that he's going to try to go rafting, and so he gets put onto one of her tours, and you could say the rest is history there, but it's really not. It's not. There was a lot packed into this book, and one thing I really liked about it, and I'll be discussing about it in an upcoming recent reads, was the romance wasn't really the main focus, and it didn't completely control their lives. Like, they thought about the other person, and, like, they're interested in them, but they didn't, that wasn't their only characteristic. You know, like in some romance books, that is like their now defining characteristic of this character is that they love the other main character. There's nothing else. They have no other interests or hobbies or whatnot. And that was definitely not the case with these two, which I actually kind of really liked, that they had their other interests and other things were happening, and that took their priority over talking to the other person. I thought it was different and unique. There was a lot of faith content in it, and also a lot of faith content that I've never really seen in a contemporary Christian novel. I don't know really how to explain that, but I'm trying to be shorter on all these books so I can just like give y'all recommendations and y'all can take the time to read them if you want. So yeah, that one though I did enjoy. I was pleasantly surprised by that one. I have 2 series that are bingeable. Like, go for it. They're on Kindle Unlimited. Go for it. Have fun. I envy you for reading it for the first time. And so the first one will be The Accidental Cases of Emily Abbott. Now, mind you, I have only read books 1 through 6 of them because I'm waiting for book 9. I've talked about this before. I have been told that 7 and 8 end on really bad cliffhangers, and I was like, well, okay, I gotta wait. But this is about a girl who accidentally becomes a spy. This is by Perry Elizabeth Kirkpatrick. And she accidentally becomes a spy, and it was just so fun. They're so short, too. Like, look at this. They're short. They're quite short and tiny, and they're just fun. You can finish them in an hour or 2. They're just entertaining. They're really good just like when you want a break from everything else. They're fun. They're fun. I'm already looking forward to rereading these. And then another series I just have to... Hi! This series has kind of just taken my world by storm, if you will, because this is the first book of the original series, and that's The Princess Companion by Melanie Sellier. So this series has 5 books and 3 novellas, okay? But then there's a spin-off series that has 6 books, and then another spin-off series that has 6 books, and then another spin-off series that has 2 books. Have at it. This has been what I've been reading this summer. Like, I have binged this whole series. I binged the 2nd series, and I am now going to be starting book 3 in the 3rd series soon because they have been very fun. They're just fun. They're fun. They're princessy retellings. This one is a retelling of The Princess and the Pea, and I didn't realize how much I enjoyed that fairy tale until I read this one. So much fun. And I think the thing that really sells me on this series reading them is like, yeah, okay, there might be a few cliche moments, but it's a fairy tale retelling. You don't expect that. Like, if you don't expect that, I don't know what to tell you. It's gonna have a little cheese moments, it's gonna have a little cliche moments because it comes with the territory. But the thing I have really been enjoying about this series, particularly this first series, but like the rest of the books have followed through as well, where a lot of fairy tale retellings you read, maybe they're just like, they're almost exactly the same as the Disney or the original whatever, or like, you know, a mix of the two, and there's not a lot of originality. Oh, that sounds so harsh to say, but you know, I'm sure you've read some. If you've read enough fairy tale retellings, you've probably been like, okay, this was almost exactly the same, but there was like 3 differences. There's not, like, it wasn't really anything to write home about. Not the case with this series. I will be writing home about it because there is just so much creativity, there's originality, there's so many characters, and they're connecting, so I highly recommend reading them in order. I'm really glad I read them in order because it follows different families, and we see them again. Like, the one I just read, let's see, okay, well, the first book in the 3rd series, you see this couple with kids, and I'm just like, ah! It was great. It was great. It was great. I love seeing, like, cameos like that throughout the rest of the books, so I suggest reading them in order. I do. Look at all my tabs. I have so many tabs over this book. It was so good. I've tabbed almost every copy of this series thus far. It's been a really fun series. So bingeable, just so fun. They just suck you in. They just suck you in. How do they just suck you in? I don't know, but I've been thoroughly enjoying them. So, yes, very bingeable. Okay, I have 2 fantasy books we're going to be talking about. The first one is going to be the duology of The Wonderland Trials, and then The Looking Glass Illusion by Sarah Ella. I have book 2, it's up there. But this is a reimagining of the Alice in Wonderland, but kind of in a dystopian setting. For some reason, this feels summery to me. I don't remember when this was set, and it could have been set in summer. I've got a 25% chance of being correct, but it feels summery to me looking back on it. That could be totally inaccurate, but what I remember, it felt that way. And then another fantasy book I'm going to recommend is going to be Ignite by Jen Therese. I have my copy up there, but it's in a nice stack, so we're not going to pull it for this video. But this is a Christian superpower, not really superheroes, but superpower concept. And basically it's the idea that what if those with superpowers weren't superheroes and like everybody fears them and that kind of thing. And then our main girl ends up getting superpowers and she's got to turn herself into the government. But is the government exactly who they say they are? In a fictional world, of course not. In the real world, of course not. But this is actually no longer available on Amazon or whatnot. But if you sign up for the author's newsletter, you can get a free copy of it. And it's like an actual book. So check it out. It is noted though that like the series it's not completed. The author currently will not be completing it, but I still really enjoyed it. I would love answers if I had them, but still, it's a fun ride. It's very different from my normal read, so maybe it's different for you too, or maybe it's right up your alley, but check it out. For historical, I have 1 Christian fiction trilogy, and that's going to be A Match in the Making, which is the Matchmakers trilogy by Jen Toronto. Book 2, Book 3, really enjoyed them. Y'all have been hearing me talk about them. Since they've been coming out, they have just been an excellent, excellent trilogy. And this first book is actually set in the summertime. Our main girl is Gwendolyn, and she is the matchmaker's assistant. And she ends up getting the client of this widowed father with his, I think it was 2 or 3 unruly children. And there's scenes at the beach. Things happen. And that was just so humorous. This is great if you really just want like a really fun historical romp, but like not a serious one, like just have fun. Like you just want something that's just fun, funny, take your mind off of life for a bit. This whole trilogy was fantastic. I recommend reading them in order, but my favorite was book 2. My next one is a historical as well, and my dear friends, I just finished this book in the wee hours this morning. I'm still kind of like, what's the word? Like I'm fangirling about it, yes, but it's also like I'm still like, Fizzy? That's not the right word. That sounds weird. But like I'm excited about it and I feel kind of jittery. That's the word I'm looking for. I feel jittery when I think about this book because A Game of Hearts by Joanna Barker was so cute. I cannot, oh my goodness. I had friends hype this book up and I was like, yeah, this looks completely my cup of tea. I'm just going to get to it at some point. Some point finally happened and it was so good. I gave it 4.5 stars. I would have given it 5, but there was just a couple kisses that I was just like, that's a little much for my taste. So I'm compromising and doing a 4.5, but this, as I drop it, this book was so much fun. This is a clean Regency book about a girl who loves archery, and I'm going to be talking about it. I actually filmed a TikTok, and it was like a get ready with me talking about this book. I just filmed that though as I was getting ready to film this video. So I don't know how the video turned out, but I'm gonna see how it turned out, and then if it's the thing, I'll put a link to it in the description, and then I'll probably insert it in on my recent reads where I talk about this book coming up in a couple weeks probably. But this was so much fun. This is actually enemies to lovers, which is not a trope I usually like. We know, we talk about how I don't like the cave of feelings scene that like every one of those have. This book actually had one of those, like a literal one, and I didn't hate it. I didn't hate, like, this is making me question, do I actually not like enemies to more? I think I still don't. But when they're antagonists and they just tease the other to death, that right there is very much more of my style. And it was really cute. I have so many things I could say about this book. I just finished it. So, well, I finished it a few hours ago and I've just been buzzing about it ever since. But it was so good. I really enjoyed it. It is summery aesthetics. It has to do with archery. Our main girl is super competitive. Enemies to more. Princess Diaries 2 vibes. It had it. And then the Kisses in the Rain. It was great. It was great. And then, just so many elements of this. I just really liked it. There's banter, there's wit. At first, you're kind of like, okay, you two, get over it. But as the book continued, I just got way more involved in their rivalry. And I found myself cracking up at times and just getting like all tickled pink and giggly and giddy and just happiness. So, my cheeks hurt now. That's fine. This was fun. Okay, honestly, I probably should have put these in other categories, but my list wasn't really like fine-tuned very well. But I have 3 other clean books. 2 are fantasy, 1 is contemporary. So let's just talk about that one. We're going to go with Assassin of Fire and Sacrifice by Mary Meckham. This book surprised me. Again, enemies to more. Wow, have I ever had a video where I talk about 2 in that trope? In the same video positively? I don't think I have ever done that. Wow, we are breaking records over here. And yes, this was enemies to more, but it was even better than that in my opinion, because it was she has been sent to kill him. She's an assassin. He is a prince. So many things in this book. Their banter and wit was my favorite. Like if I had to compare the two, it's apples to oranges in my opinion, but their wit just had me and it was great. It was great. It was really good. So, yeah, this book. I tabbed my copy up. I enjoyed it so much I bought the hardback special edition. I have a problem with buying books, obviously, but this was really, really enjoyable. So, yeah. Another fantasy, clean fantasy I read. I read it last year. I don't think I've read it this year. This year's flying by. I can't remember when I read this next book. I think it was last year, and I'll put a recent read when I talked about it, but that was On Wings of Ash and Dust. This is a clean fantasy. I think there was 1 or 2 usages of language, but like nothing, you know, super strong. And this was about a girl who is actually kind of like a princess in this fairy realm, but she has completely like disregarded all that and has gone off to be a pirate in the fairy world. So it really reminded me a lot of The Lost Treasure, the Tinkerbell movie. Fantastic movie. And so it had that vibe. I don't remember if it was set in summer, but I feel like it would be really good for like summer binge reading, because like it's a pretty thick book. And book 2 is supposed to come out later this year, but it might have been delayed. But, you know, it ends in like a really good conclusion, and then that final chapter you're like, wait a second. Wait a second. What? And then you're like, okay, I need the second book. But like, I enjoyed it. I honestly might get a copy for my shelves. I'm still debating. I'll probably see how book 2 goes. But it has fairies and that kind of thing, which I know some people don't like, and that's okay. But if you do like that kind of thing, or you want to see about it, that is one that I thought was pretty unique, because there's all these different clans, tribes, whatever word you want to use. I don't remember the word the author used. And so like they all have to compete in this big, all the heirs to the thrones have to compete to find out who's going to be the next like big ruler over the fairy kingdom land place. And I like competitions. I'm not that competitive. I'm really not, but I'm seeing a theme in my books lately. And then my last book I just wanted to talk about real quick is a clean contemporary book, and that is Cinder Luna by Marie Soleil. This was just a really cute Kindle Unlimited book I picked up, and then I was just like, wait a second, this was really cute. This was really cute. So I bought a copy. Actually, I asked for a copy for my birthday, and I was very sweetly given to it. But it's Hidden Identity, Cinderella retelling, and it's just, I also think it's really cute that at the beginning of each of their chapters, they have them on the cover on here. I don't know, I just thought that was really cute. Book 2 I think is releasing later this year, and I'm looking forward to that. But this is just a hidden identity, small town kind of setting, but they know each other. Oh, okay, you know what it reminded me of? You know what? Okay, this is oddly specific here. Another Cinderella story with Hilary Duff. Kind of, like, maybe it's just the Cinderella vibes, but I kept thinking of that movie when I was reading it, so maybe it's like the contemporary Cinderella side of it. I don't know. But I had that vibe. So, yeah, do with that with what you will. I liked it. I don't know. I thought it was cute. I think I gave it like a 3.5 stars, and yeah, it was enjoyable. So there we go. I have a stack of books. I won't, well, it's not all the books, because like I put the cover up for some of them because I'm being a little bit lazy. Sorry. I didn't bring the ladder in to grab that one, and then I didn't grab everybody, but I grabbed mostly everybody, so I guess I could show us our stack. Let's see our stack. Our stack's too heavy, actually. I don't know if this is a good idea. Oh no, this isn't a good idea. Okay, this is part of our stack here. Ta-da! And then there's more. So we're just gonna go with that. Let's just go with that. Ta-da! There's our stack of books. Thanks for letting me still post my summer recommendations for y'all. I made this list in June, and then life went crazy, and I'm fixing to sneeze. Hang on. Okay, false alarm. I'm not gonna sneeze. So I just really enjoyed putting together this list and finally getting to talk with y'all about it. But if I could just add a couple little extra little bonuses, if you will. Erin Mangum. You know I love her books. You know it. You know it. If you've been on my channel any bit of time, you know. I feel like any of her books can be read in the summer because they are contemporary romances, and that is what I crave in the summer. But actually, technically, all of her books, most of her books, are set in the fall, spring, or winter. I looked. Now maybe her new one, I don't know when her new one's going to be set. That one's coming out next week. Oh, I am so excited for that book. I'm ready to pre-order the Kindle copy, the paperback copy. Like, let's go. I'm ready. I'm so, like, I know I'm going to sob. Like, reading the back cover, I'm going to sob. I already know it. I'm going to sob. But I'm ready to have my heart ripped out. It's fine. So, looking forward to that one. But all of her books, honestly, to me, feel summery, but they are typically not set in the summer. And then, what was my other one? Oh, historicals. I wanted to talk about more historicals, and I actually only had one on this list, which was A Match in the Making, until the wee hours of this morning when I finished A Game of Hearts, and I was like, oh, I get to talk about this one in this video. Love when that happens, when I get to talk about a book that's super fresh. But a lot of the historicals I feel like I read are very, very, I have a string, are very, obviously spring, or they're very obviously fall. Like, they just don't feel like summer. And so there is that. Wait a darn second. Did I have contemporary mysteries on this list? I did. I totally skipped a genre. Alright, hang on, my dear friends. So, Gone to the Dog series by Janice Thompson and Kathleen Ybarbo. Very summery, very fun. Some of them are actually set in the spring, but they're cozy mysteries. I don't know. I like cozy mysteries in the summer. I like cozy mysteries year round. A new one I just recently read was Digging Up Secrets by Elizabeth Penny. This is also a cozy mystery. I will be talking about this more in an upcoming recent reads, but I was surprised by this book in multiple ways, particularly that it is a guidepost mystery. Like, the whole series that are 4 books so far, the whole series is available on Kindle Unlimited. That's groundbreaking. If you know about guidepost mystery books and how hard they are to find and how you can only find them in hardback at used bookstores or straight from the publisher's website, you ain't finding them elsewise, this was shocking to me to not only see them in hardback and paperback, but also on Kindle and on Kindle Unlimited. I was stunned, but I really liked it. I gave it 4 stars. It is about a young woman who has inherited her grandfather's vet clinic in England, so she has moved there, and mysteries, hidden jewels, found jewels, thieves, all of it. So yeah, really enjoyed that one. And then because I just can't go by without talking about this series, though my mind's going blank on what color the spine is. Here it is. The Port Astor Secrets series by Sandra Orchard. Hi. So this is a suspense series, but it's a connected suspense series. So it follows the same girl, and then we've got a love interest that kind of like, it's a slower burn, but I really like that element. It has the suspense, there's twists, there's so many twists in this book, and then so many things. So like, if you want more of a suspenseful read, I recommend this one. Always, but I feel like it would work pretty well in the summer as well. Alright, my friends, now that is all on my list. Let me double check, but I think that's all my list. Yes. Okay, that was my entire list of summer recommendations for 2024. Sorry I'm getting this out a little late to y'all, but you still have like a month and then to read them in summer. And then honestly, if you're in the southern hemisphere, game is wide open for y'all. Like, it's spring, isn't it, right? So you should be able to, like, read all of them if you wanted. And in all reality, I like reading summer books year-round, but that's because I live in Texas and it's, like, hot 10 months out of the year. It works. That is it for this video, though. I hope you enjoyed it. It's kind of chaotic. I'm sorry. This video is probably, like, all over the place, but I feel all over the place right now, so that's probably why. I hope you enjoyed this video, though, nonetheless, and I will see y'all in the comments. I'll see y'all in next week's video, and let me know if you've read any of these. Do you want to read any of these? Have they caught your eye? And has there been any really summery books you've read recently? Let me know that as well. Does your mood change in the seasons? I feel like mine does, but then at the same time I feel like it doesn't, and I still read the same genres throughout the year. And that's okay, because I read a lot of genres. Oh my goodness, look at that angle. Wow, beautiful, beautiful, stunning. I like it. Okay, so that's it for this video. I'm so sorry. I'm all over the place. I need to go eat food. Anyway, alright. I'm going to let y'all go now, but thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you added a few books to your TBR, and I will see y'all next time. I am Lindsey from the blog booksforchristiangirls.blogspot.com, where there is a new review every Monday and Friday. I try to post a new video on this channel every Friday, and then I'm also on TikTok, Instagram, Goodreads, all of the many social media sites, because I need so many places to talk about books, here, there, and everywhere. So I will see y'all next time. Have a lovely rest of your day. Bye!